Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump told Fox News Friday that Democrat presidential candidate Kamala Harris lied about working at McDonald's.
I'm going to do everything. I tell you what.
You're going to do
A friend of mine owns
going to do it.
McDonald's someplace. Oh, I'm going. Because she lied.
You don't think she ever worked at McDonald's?
I know she did. We checked it out. Unless somebody comes up with something. We checked it out. They said she never worked here. She even picked the store. We went to the manager. The manager's been there forever. Do you remember her? No, she never worked here.
Harris has claimed she worked at McDonald's, but has not said which location, I guess, or specifically when, or that wasn't determined anyhow. On Sunday afternoon, Donald Trump, that is, worked as a fry cook in a Philadelphia area McDonald's. When he was asked why he came to McDonald's.
I love McDonald's. I love jobs. I like to see good jobs. And I think it's inappropriate when somebody puts down all over the place that she worked at McDonald's. It was a big part of her resume that she worked at McDonald's, how tough a job it was. She specifically worked at the French fry, where they make the French fries, and she talked about the heat. It was so tough. She never worked at McDonald's. McDonald's just confirmed that again, by the way.
Trump also handed out orders at the drive-thru window and told customers, "I've now worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala at McDonald's." Billionaire businessman Elon Musk handed out a second $1 million prize in a voter registration giveaway Sunday while stumping for GOP presidential candidate Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. On social media, Musk vowed to hand out $1 million per day to random swing state voters until Election Day.
Every day from now until the election, we're giving out $1 million prize. That is, and all you have to do is sign a petition in support of the Constitution. It's very straightforward.
Critics blasted Musk, claiming he is violating voting laws offering compensation tied to an election. But Musk said to sign up and win, people only need to say they support the U.S. Constitution. They don't even have to vote. The offer only applies to registered voters in the swing states of Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, Michigan, and North Carolina. The window to sign up to the petition closes tonight at midnight. Greg.
With a little more than 2 weeks until Election Day and Donald Trump gaining more public support each day, it seems Kamala Harris is resorting to desperate scare tactics.
And we are clear. Someone who suggests we should terminate the Constitution of the United States should never again have the privilege of standing behind the seal of the President of the United States. Never again.
The Democratic presidential nominee and her camp have clearly determined their safety-first strategy of only speaking to left-leaning friendly media was not working. However, forays out into the real world of journalism, such as with Fox News' Bret Baier, well, it didn't go well.
When it comes to immigration, you supported allowing immigrants in the country illegally to apply for driver's license, to qualify for free tuition at universities, to be enrolled in free health care. Do you still support those things?
Listen, that was 5 years ago, and I'm very clear that I will follow the law. I have made that statement over and over again, and as Vice President of the United States, that's exactly what I've done, not to mention before.
At the recent funeral of Ethel Kennedy, a lip-reading expert's analysis of Joe Biden and Barack Obama's conversation reportedly confirmed growing frustration with the vice president's disconnect with voters. Joining us now is the CEO of Liberty Sentinel Media, Alex Newman. Welcome to Victory News.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Alex, Kamala Harris' current stump speech makes many, some would say, outrageous claims against Donald Trump. Are the Democrats in panic mode, and do you think Americans are going to believe them?
The Democrats are absolutely in panic mode, and I think there's a good reason for it. They see the polls. They see that they're losing big time. They see that nobody believes the propaganda and the lies they're putting out anymore. And so they're really in quite a pickle here. They can keep lying and risk further alienating voters. Or they can remain silent and have people ask questions about why Kamala Harris is hiding, which has been happening a lot lately. So they're very much in a difficult position right now, and I think you can kind of see that in the desperation, the hysteria that we're seeing from the Harris campaign.
Okay, as you know, Virginia was trying to clean up their voter rolls. What's going on with the Department of Justice suing the state of Virginia for cleaning up their voter rolls? Do you think that when all the votes are counted on or after November 5th, we're going to find out a significant number of ineligible non-citizens were actually able to cast a ballot that was counted?
We know this is happening, and we know this is happening with the full support of the Biden Department of Justice. This is, I believe, a critical part of their strategy. They know that in an honest election where only eligible voters could vote, they would be totally crushed. Even the liberal models are showing that Donald Trump's going to win all the swing states, that he's going to crush Kamala Harris in the Electoral College. And so the other side has a very, very difficult trick to play here. They've got to ensure that they can find more votes from various different places. And of course, we know that in all the swing states, you've got hundreds of thousands of ineligible voters on the rolls, felons, people who have left, illegal immigrants, various people who are not legally allowed to vote. And so this is a key part of their strategy. And to see the Department of Justice suing not just Virginia, but also other states to try to ensure that these ineligible voters remain on the rolls, in my opinion, raises questions about criminal activity.
It does. Candidates always are used to people heckling them or yelling out statements, like I mentioned at the beginning, where somebody yelled "Jesus is Lord" to Kamala Harris. Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance had a much better response during a recent rally when someone yelled out "Jesus is King." Take a listen.
Anti-Christian rhetoric and anti-Christian approach to public policy. I don't think that's right, Jesus is King, and I don't think that we've seen.
So how do you think Kamala Harris telling the Wisconsin student believers in Jesus that they weren't welcome at her rally is going over with the American people? What does that say about her as a person?
Well, you notice that the liberal media is not talking much about this. They know that they're going to need votes from people who at least label themselves as Christians, and so they're trying to keep silent about this. But I think it's very telling. It doesn't matter what Kamala Harris thinks. It doesn't even matter what J.D. Vance thinks. Jesus Christ is Lord. Jesus Christ is King. He will remain Lord and King, King of all kings, indefinitely. But this, I think, puts, again, Kamala Harris in a really awkward position. She's trying to look moderate. She's trying to look mainstream. Mainstream America is still overwhelmingly Christian. Even the worst of the polls show that at least 2/3, maybe more, of the American people, of the American electorate, identify as Christian. And so alienating Christian voters in the run-up to a consequential election seems like a rather foolish strategy. But of course, it doesn't matter what she says. If you go back and read the DNC platform, it's all about killing babies, LGBT, waging war on family, waging war on nations. So the anti-Christian nature of this campaign is very clear, regardless of what Kamala Harris says at her campaign stops.
Okay, we're over 2 weeks away, just around 2 weeks away from Election Day. What's the most important message Donald Trump and Kamala Harris can share with undecided voters to swing in them or move the needle in their direction?
I think, unfortunately, I wish people were concerned about bigger issues, but unfortunately right now the thing that seems to be on most people's minds is they're having trouble being able to afford groceries, pay their bills. This is partly because of inflation, partly because of the wide open border. And so that is really what people are looking for. How are you going to bring my cost of living down? How am I going to be able to make ends meet? We don't need government handouts. We just need a restoration of freedom.
That's exactly right. Alex Newman of Liberty Sentinel, thank you, sir, for being with us today.